It's the Sports Lounge, 171. It's 80 degrees out. It rained a bunch yesterday. It's humid as hell. Marcus Straxler, Shane Koob, David Schottenkirk, Charlie Hildebrand, Travis Kriens, Cleveland Browns edition of the Sports Lounge. Gentlemen.
They moved your team away, and then they brought it back, but really it was like it never left.
No, they didn't really. They just didn't play for 3 years, but really they had the team the whole time. It was like a 36-month off season. Is all. We got a Star Wars twin set. What's the story behind this one here?
I bought it at They had the Star Wars Day on May the 4th last year, and was walking by. They had them like in a display case outside one of the pro shops or whatever at Target Field, and I said I have to have that.
What's the bill here?
Rebel Alliance and Luke Skywalker.
Look at this.
Lando Calrissian selling these.
No.
I'm glad that you left, Coop, because I don't think anyone else here understood that.
No idea.
I have no idea what that was. Is he racing in the Indy 500 today?
He's in it. He's running 10th right now.
Running 10th? Oh, he's so good. What do you got, Jacksonville? What is this?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Wolf. What's that?
Timberwolves. Well, my God, look at this. Well,
United we run.
That's right. One hungry pack.
Is that what is the current slogan?
I don't know. You know, they have the quote from the Jungle Book, like in the annals of Target Center, like back by the team meeting room, you know, or like the team cafeteria or whatever. It's like, the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the wolf is the strength of the pack. It's so fucking corny.
I'm only
it's bad.
The slogans that we don't have anymore. So whatever ones that they had 5 years ago, those are the ones I want.
Yep.
You'd think the team slogan would be Tony Towns quoting Keyshawn Johnson's book, just saying, "Give me the damn ball."
Probably going to be next year.
Yeah, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Get to know them, Traxler. Get to know them.
Same as the 2001 Minnesota Twins. That's the only Twins slogan I remember. Get to know them. So
get to know them.
There's been a couple. I don't know what they were, but there's been a couple more.
There has been, yeah.
Basketball game last night.
Because our team's bad.
Come on. Basketball game last night. 108-101. Golden State wins. They were behind for 95% of the game, and the last 2 minutes come, and they decided to win the game. Very good game, I thought, as an actual game. The game they played in March, same place, same teams, was better. But since this was a Game 6 in the playoffs and all that, I thought this was overall better. Mr. Schottenkirk, your thoughts? Did you think that Oklahoma City had this in the bag at some point in this game? They were up 12, 14 points. It seemed like they should have been up by more. It was like 6 points at half. But they were up 9 there in the final quarter. Any point where you thought Oklahoma City had it in the bag?
Not 100%. There was a few times where I was quite sure it was just about over, and then Golden State would make a little push and get a little bit closer, and Oklahoma City just couldn't pull away. And then as soon as Marcus Straxler posted in our chat last night about me having my champagne on ice, which I kind of did and I kind of didn't, as soon as he posted that, it's like, you know what, I don't care, Golden State's winning this game, and sure as shit, here they come. So I blame you, Marcus Straxler.
I posted it with the full idea that Golden State was not, or Oklahoma City. I don't know how the phrase really works, but whatever team, they weren't out of the woods. Oklahoma City wasn't out of the woods. Golden State still very much in the woods and there to potentially take that game. But I just thought, considering that how much David has pointed out that he doesn't like all the attention on Golden State this year, I just had to post that. I had to post that the champagne was on ice with 1 quarter remaining. And it was, just like Game 6 in the World Series, Boston Red Sox 1986, you got to take the champagne out of the clubhouse, but it's probably not going to return to the clubhouse for Oklahoma City if they don't have their act together on Monday.
Well, you never hear about all the stories, which would be all the other championships that have ever been won, where the champagne is right there, and they do end up winning. It is no big deal.
they put up all the plastic and they don't have to take it down because the team wins the series. So,
what a deal. Mr. Koob, you saw this game? You were out and about?
I watched the last half of the fourth quarter. I was out and about for my brother's 21st last night.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, we stuck around and watched that because it was, you always know something incredible is going to happen in NBA playoffs, and it happened again last night. You can never count out Golden State with Curry and then Clay getting hot when they both got hot at the end, and OKC had their turnovers too. It you kind of knew it was going to happen, and then Steph hits that runner at the end to seal it basically, and it was just the place went wild. We were watching it at a bunch of hipsters watching basketball. It was pretty funny.
Klay Thompson playoff record for three-pointers, and then Curry had an awful first half, had a good second half, and people are talking about the collapse here, Marcus. They're talking about, well, Oklahoma shit the bed. What was it, a 16-4 run in the last 4.5, 5 minutes? Obviously, Golden State had to score some points here at the end, but offensively, it didn't seem like Oklahoma City had much there in that last 5 minutes. What happened?
Yeah, Charles Barkley was kind of talking at the end that they kind of reverted to the hero ball type thing, and that's just not good for Oklahoma City. They're better when, Westbrook and Durant are better when they get everybody involved, and that didn't really happen as much. Durant was not that good offensively. I thought he was relatively decent on Curry for most of the game on defense. He seemed to be guarding him a lot and was at least in his face. But then at the end of the game, Curry gets going, and that doesn't seem to matter much. And they also got a couple mismatches. And, I just think they have to still take better shots, and they need to get the other guys involved. I don't think it's completely over as far as the series. I wouldn't count out Oklahoma City in Game 7 at all, but obviously Golden State's pretty tough to beat at home, and doing it twice in this series is going to be pretty difficult.
So are you saying Golden State, they're not out of the woods now?
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
Holy shit, big stack ahead.
Stack up,
Stack
tack.
Thank you.
We'll get your thoughts on the Zika virus coming up here soon.
Cancel everything. Cancel the rest of the playoffs.
I was going to say that in the NBA game, everyone else was playing NBA 2K16, and Klay Thompson was playing NBA Jam and was on fire. But now that Stacken's here, I'm going to say that he was using the fire from Stacken's hot takes.
Hot.
Mr. Hildebrand, very, very close game, which Oklahoma City led for most of. Durant and Westbrook go a combined 20 of 58, which is not the best.
Not ideal.
Would you? You would assume that the narrative would have changed very much at the end here if they would have actually won this game, which they probably should have. And it would have been. What would it have been? They still would have shot awful. Curry did not shoot very well at all, and Thompson, he had his 11 3-pointers. But give me the alternative universe of Oklahoma City wins this game. Then what is everybody talking about? Are they talking about Golden State and they couldn't do it, and Oklahoma City, this is their year? What would have happened?
I think it'd be two things. It'd be one, that it would be everyone saying the regular season's great. All that really matters is what you do in the postseason and how hard it is to repeat at times, and that their record doesn't matter because they didn't win the title. And from the Oklahoma City side, I think it would be that when you have I don't know. It's tough to rank NBA players. I don't know if Durant and Westbrook are both in the top 5. They're both really good, though. They're probably both in the top 10. And if you've got two guys that are that good, that you're just going to find ways to win. At least I think that's what the narrative would have been had they won. And now since they didn't win, I'm already going from yesterday thinking they had two top 5 players being like, well, they can't both be in the top 5 if they didn't win. And overthinking it.
Nathan Stacken?
Yeah, how's the audio level?
Not
Very
great.
good. It's doable. Very doable.
It's Google to install something on Windows 10 here on my computer. It's fucking pissing me off. So
What do you want? Are you on a computer or a phone, or what do you got?
back. And holy shit.
And we've had troubles with it in the past. So,
There you go.
what?
Too many hot takes, obviously.
Well, what are you on, a phone or a computer, or what are you on?
I'm on a tablet.
Okay. Yeah, well, it's good enough.
Take
okay.
pictures with it too.
Huh?
iPhone or iPad pictures.
Oh, it's not I don't go with Apple products.
Boycott.
One.
As you
So
know,
you pick the crappier product. Gotcha.
I pick the products that don't drive me into lakes.
there we go.
Okay.
Oklahoma City stacking. They've lost a lot of fourth quarter leads. It's just another one on the fire, and it seems like they kind of reverted back to what they did during the regular season.
Absolutely. I mean, you go into that fourth quarter with an 8-point lead, thinking everything's good, and then turnovers, missed free throws. It's the same narrative that we had in the regular season with this team, and it's going to come back and ultimately bite them in the butt, which is unfortunate. I'd love to see them go to Golden State and win Game 7, but very shaky now after this last game. And I think, as Charlie alluded to, Klay Thompson was just on fire, 11 of 18 from 3. That's downright ridiculous, and maybe someone needs to guard him in the future.
Okay.
The defense wasn't that bad, actually. I mean, he
Tough shots.
He didn't have a lot of room there, and he was knocking down the shots from pretty much everywhere on the court. So I don't think you can slam Oklahoma City's defense too much.
And
He picked the right day to break an all-time NBA playoff record.
Yeah.
anybody picking Oklahoma State to win on Monday?
I'm going to Oklahoma City, I'm not going to pick the Cowboys.
I think Marcus Smart is going to play and kick a man in the goal.
I was going to say, I'm a man. I'm 40.
I'm a man. Anybody like the Warriors to lose at home?
Well, it was Mike Gundy.
I'm doing it.
That's close.
I'm doing it.
You're doing it. Look at you.
This is
Since I sent out that tweet about San Jose being the only team in Northern California that they'll have a team to root for in the championship series, I'll stick with the Thunder.
Look at you.
But I don't think about that at all.
You don't believe it, though.
No, I don't believe it, but I'll stick by my tweet.
So are you basically a preacher?
Was the son of a preacher man.
You're saying stuff you don't actually believe in. Okay.
I would say it's a politician like Donald Trump.
Okay, like Donald Trump. So before the end of the show, you'll pick Golden State. David, there you go. Well,
he's going to pick Golden State, and he's going to make Portland pay for it.
You're going to build a wall around the bay? You're going to flood them.
I'll make Sacramento pay for it, not Portland.
Get all those fuckers from San Francisco that come over the bridge, get them back on their own fucking side.
We're getting killed on trade.
We're getting killed on trade from not only Sacramento, but San Jose. Those fuckers in San Diego down south are killing us. David, Palo Alto's they got all the Uncle Toms over there. Schottenkirk, and I think this is huge. This game and the game on Monday, I think, is just as big as you could possibly get for a franchise for Oklahoma City, with the uncertainty of Durant and all of this and the outcome of these games and playing in his decision whether he goes or not. Is this as big, do you think, as I think it is?
Yeah, it's massive for those two potentially staying together, splitting them up. I thought coming into the series, if they give it a good run, made a 6 or 7 game series, they might consider, or Durant might consider sticking around and signing a 1-year deal to stay together for at least next year with Westbrook under contract, still until the following summer. At this point, if going into the fourth quarter last night, it looks like, we're going to the finals, maybe they'll stay together, maybe they've been wrong all along. Now, if they don't win tomorrow night, I think Durant's gone. I think Westbrook's gone next summer, too. I think that whole franchise is in a world of hurt if they cannot pull off the stunner tomorrow night.
I agree with David on almost all those points, and that's kind of why I'm picking Oklahoma City to win tomorrow night, in part because they have to, and also because I think it would be a shame if this whole, this Durant-Westbrook era in Oklahoma City ends without some sort of signature win where they go to the finals. So, and sort of, is it going to be Westbrook or Durant who both have big games? I kind of hope so, that's what we see. I think they're capable of winning the title. I think Cleveland, as we've kind of mentioned here, matches up a little bit better against Oklahoma City, but I also don't think you can count Cleveland out against Golden State. So I think it's going to be a great game, and I just think there's a great chance for history with Oklahoma City, so I'll pick them.
I heard a bunch of bullshit before the game about something along the lines of, this is where they're going to step up, Charlie. They're going to step up, Westbrook and Durant, and solidify themselves as one of the all-time greats, and they just want it more, and they've got more heart and all of this bullshit. Like it's just a matter of, well, we want to win more, so we're going to win. I thought that was the dumbest fucking thing I've heard all week.
Who said that?
It was just on the radio somewhere.
I thought it was funny, like afterwards, Kenny Smith, he's like, in Game 6 and Game 7, strategy doesn't matter. It's all about heart and will and all this. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
Shut up, Jet.
The same reason why they would step up is also the reason they lost last night. And I don't get that at all.
Like, do people just forget it's like you have to play well? It's just not about, we just want it more. It's like, no shit, both of them want to win very fucking badly.
I think like the heart thing and wanting it more in some cases can mean something like in lower levels, like in middle school and high school and stuff. Like the higher levels you go, though, the less and less it matters because everybody's good and everybody wants to win and everybody devotes all their time to being really good. And there's just, I don't know. Like I can't think of times where, like when the series has yet to be decided. You see times where teams might not put forth their best effort when they're down 3-0 or stuff like that. But like when it's like crunch time, like I don't remember being like, I don't know, I just didn't want it enough. They wanted it a lot, but it just wasn't enough of a lot. And I don't know. I think it's the easy thing for people that don't understand sports to say because they don't understand sports. So if some team loses, it's obviously it's just because they didn't try their hardest.
I think it's funny to talk about wanting it more and then, consider, people talking about Oklahoma City wanting it, and then you think about, Draymond Green kicked a guy in the nuts 2 times in a row in this series. It's like, yeah, I think he wants it pretty badly too. So it just seems like a really dumb thing to talk about all the time.
It seems like the team that plays better wants it more, I guess.
That's,
yeah.
If you can talk me into there being a case for wanting it more, but like wanting it more would be like off-season stuff. Like everybody wants it on. Like, what did you do in the off-season? But even then, it still comes down to talent. Like I could want something more than Kevin Durant. I'm not going to beat Kevin Durant at anything in basketball, even if I want it more.
I bet I want pizza more than Kevin Durant wants. Every day.
Well, if you put in the work, that's what's going to happen. You're going to get the pizza.
I put in so much work, so much more work than Kevin Durant on pizza.
The best thing is when you put in your effort and you can just taste that victory.
And all that hard work and time pays off when you eat that pizza. Man,
that's right.
Maybe you start with 4 slices, you get it up to 6. Maybe you do the whole thing. Maybe you do a pizza and then plus. It's you can do as much as you want, Shane Koob. You can dream as big as you dream.
Sometimes you choke. You blow a 16-point lead and you choke on that slice of roni.
What do you think here, Shane, as far as the Golden State deal with being in the discussion for one of the best years ever? What does this do here? Does this comeback sort of add a little bit to it, or because they were down 3-1 in the first place, it kind of takes something away?
It's kind of, since they were down, it kind of adds maybe to the mystique a little bit. But even when they were down in the series, it was like, how can you count these guys out? Just considering the body of work they put in this season and last season, and just the way especially with Clay going off. But just the way Steph's done things this year, it's like, it's almost like you expect them to come back from 16-point deficits because all they have to do is hit three 3-pointers in a row and they're right back in it and that kind of stuff. So for me, it's never hard to count them out. And now that they're going back home for Game 7, it's kind of setting up for another Cavs Warriors rematch here.
David, how much credit does Billy Donovan get here, if at all? Is Schottenkirk with us?
Houston, hello.
He's talking. Can't hear.
We can see him. We can't hear him. We can see you. We can't hear you. We can't hear him. Nathan Stacking, pinch hitting. Bill Donovan. You said they have similar hairlines as him, so that's a thing.
I have a similar with him. Like him. 2 championships at Florida, then too.
Does he get any credit here for this little run they're on?
Well, I think he should, because it's not just Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. I mean, Steven Adams has been a major part of this run, and I think the whole team just kind of buying in. I mean, last year people wanted to blame David Blatt more for Cleveland's failures rather than the run. So I think in Donovan's situation there, transitioning from college to pro, he certainly does deserve some credit in getting these guys, playing better defense as the season progressed toward and into the playoffs. And I think he does deserve a great deal of credit, yes.
I would also
but ultimately,
go ahead.
Charlie or Marcus, what do you got?
Well, I would just say that he has mastered sort of the little nuances that you kind of have to be an NBA coach that aren't so much necessary in college. As far as substitutions and using guys, and he has also helped whittle down the roster or the rotation, if you will, in the playoffs. So those are key things. One thing I think is interesting is that he's made these changes and they've gotten better in the playoffs. That's a huge part of them being in this situation, Game 7. But, it is, Stacking said that it's not about Durant and Westbrook. It is still about Durant and Westbrook. The NBA is about stars. And so, in this particular instance, Donovan helps them get into a situation where Steven Adams and Roberson and all these other cats are playing pretty good. And then if Durant and Westbrook revert back to hero ball, it's just all undone in one game. And that's kind of what I take away from last night, is that they just, if they're not playing in a way that's getting everybody involved or, just as a team, they're not going to get it done. And so it is interesting how those 2 stars, if they're not playing in a certain way, it's going to set everything back.
What do you think about Chris Webber?
Like Donovan was a.
I think Chris Webber was good.
All right, Stacking, what do you got there? Stack.
Well, I just said I know that this team goes as far as KD and Westbrook go with their play, but Donovan does deserve the credit for getting him to this position with the defense and getting the most out of Steven Adams and the surrounding pieces.
Right, but my point is if Westbrook and Durant aren't playing in a way that helps everybody else, they're screwed. That's the point.
Yeah, but that doesn't fall on Donovan.
It doesn't. It's a little bit out of his control.
Yep.
Chris Webber.
He's good. He's
timeouts.
Gotten a lot better, and there's a lot more timeouts when he's in the TV booth. So that's good.
I think he's pretty good. We like him. That's a good number 1 team. Marv's had a couple of rough patches here. Last couple games, a few mistakes on fouls and thinking that the game's still going on when there was a whistle blown 5 seconds ago. So
he's old. He's old as shit.
Is Brian Anderson going to start filling in for him?
As long as he doesn't bite any more prostitutes, I think Marv Albert's here for a couple more years.
I'm glad you brought that up. I was just about to say, what's the weird thing that Marv Albert did that is kind of looked at negatively?
He had the toupee, too.
And that's what it was.
Toupee.
Oh, the toupee looks nice.
There should only be one replacement on TNT when Marv Albert is done, and that is
who it is?
That is a certain former Timberwolves announcer, Kevin Harlan. Down hard.
I know you've done a Kevin Harlan football radio play-by-play in the past. Is that your best Kevin Harlan, or do you have one other?
He's like my favorite nuanced Kevin Harlan. It's just like he goes so like not over the top because he does a good job, but it's so much different than him doing sports on TV, where he's just like, Manning drops back to pass. It's a high arcing throw and it caught by whoever, and he's like he's got to describe everything a certain way. That's why he's the number one radio guy at Westwood One.
Charlie,
I would say Kevin Harlan, NCAA basketball with Reggie Miller. No fault of his own, but that's his worst. That's his worst Kevin Harlan.
I mean, Reggie Miller is so fucking bad. God damn.
At least he has Lon Elmore to help with the March Madness.
Like Reggie Miller always needs another guy with him because he sucks so much. What's your trivia question, Charlie? Do we got to wait on this, or what do we do?
We can do it. It is NBA related.
All right, men. Here we go.
Here we go, men.
There are 14.
If you can hear me, I'm calling my shot. I'm winning.
I heard you there. There's 14 NBA franchises that have records of 500 or better in NBA playoff Game 7s. It's a Game 7 NBA question. 14 teams, 500 or better. And I should say, like, I got to be careful how I say this because I don't want to give any answers away, although there's probably some obvious ones here. If, like, a franchise has been in multiple locations and moved over 6 or 7 decades, like, they would get credit for each of those stops.
So they're all different? Or is it the same?
No, they're the same. So it would be, like, I'm going to try to think of, like, a football. Like, in baseball, like, the Dodgers would get credit for both wins as the Brooklyn Dodgers and the Los Angeles Dodgers. I think that's the best way to say it without giving any answers away.
What's the country of origin?
United States.
United States, okay. So Raptors get bet. Maybe.
And then I guess usually I go left to right. We're going to switch it up because Coob's here, and this doesn't affect him either way on my view because he's third either way. So we're going right to left. We're going Kriens, Schottenkirk, Coob, Stacken, then Traxler.
Good.
Game 7s, you'd have to think the...
Game 7s, and these are teams that have a record of 500 or better.
We are counting the ones that are 500.
There are 5 that are 500.
Wow. Look at that.
You'd have to think the...
And this is updated through every NBA playoff game that's been played through yesterday. Although yesterday obviously was not a Game 7.
I'd go with the Celtics.
Boston Celtics, they do not have the best winning percentage, but they have the most wins. They're 21-8 in Game 7s. Schottenkirk.
I would assume the Lakers.
Lakers, second most wins. They're 16-8 in Game 7s. So we're to Coob. And the two that stick out is probably being the most obvious.
Yes.
They're gone.
I'm going to roll a little Utah Jazz.
Utah Jazz, 2-2 in Game 7s. They're
wow. Look at this.
Mining.
Stacking.
With the San Antonio Spurs.
San Antonio Spurs. That is a good guess. I figured they'd be on here.
Really?
They do not have a 500 or better record in Game 7.
Get out.
Apparently, they beat too many teams in 5 or 6 games.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to have.
Traxler.
I will go with the Miami Heat.
Fuck you.
Miami Heat. 6-4. Back to Kriens.
Philadelphia 76ers.
Philadelphia 76ers are not on the list.
Ooh.
Shame.
So, David.
Seattle/Oklahoma City.
Seattle/Oklahoma City Thunder are 6-3 in Game 7s. Perhaps relevant. Actually, well, the record will be different tomorrow either way. It'll either be better or worse. But, yep, they're on there. Coob.
Let's say Memphis Grizzlies.
Please tell me they're like 1-0.
The Memphis Grizzlies are not on the list, unfortunately. We're to Traxler now.
I will pick the Detroit Pistons.
God damn it, kid.
Jesus.
Good one.
Detroit Pistons, 5-5. They're 500. They're on there. And then, so we're to Schottenkirk. And there, just to give you a quick update, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 8 teams left.
A lot.
And I will say that the Boston Celtics and Lakers, who have already been guessed, by far and away have played in the most Game 7s. Everyone left has played in fewer than 10 Game 7s.
Oh, fuck. This might be my first called shot that goes wrong, but I'll say Atlanta.
The Atlanta Hawks are not on the list.
Oh.
Traxler for the win.
For the win!
Well, I know they've only played one, and they won it, so I will
Minnesota?
take the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Bang!
Minnesota Timberwolves are the only team that is undefeated in NBA Game 7s. Well done. The other ones were Washington Wizards are 6-3, Dallas Mavericks 4-2, Orlando Magic 2-1, Houston Rockets 6-4, and 3 teams at 500: the Los Angeles Clippers, Toronto Raptors, and Cleveland Cavaliers.
What do you got, Shotty? You just said you were going to win, and then you lost.
Embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
Just call him Vince Young, folks. Vince Young.
At least I'm not wearing that ugly-ass shirt today, Marcus.
Just a regular blue shirt. You say that probably good, huh?
It's terrible.
You got nothing.
It's awful.
You got nothing.
It's awful. It's awful.
Shirley,
Yes.
what do you think is going to happen with Baylor football?
I think that, real quick, there's 2 other times, like it's not the exact situation, but in a situation where a team like recently was good and fired their head coach after spring practice was already over. The only other 2 times recently I can think of that happening were Ohio State with Jim Tressel for the tattoo things after the 2010 season when they were like 11-2. Promoted defensive coordinator Luke Fickell went 6-7. And then the other example is Arkansas in 2011 with Bobby Petrino when he got in the motorcycle accident and they found out he was cheating on his wife or whatever. Got fired. I think Arkansas was like 11-2 and finished in the top 5. Promoted John L. Smith, defensive coordinator, and they went 4-8 the next year. I would imagine Baylor will not do very well because Briles, personal and morals aside, was obviously a very good football coach and a genius offensive mind, and you don't replace guys like that and get better. So I think they're not going to be very good. I don't know if they'll go be as bad as Kansas is, but I don't think it's going to be pretty in Baylor for a while. Like they've seen their high moments, and I think they're probably gone in football for a long time. And you know what? For a city in Waco that's had the David Koresh, Branch Davidian standoff with the ATF and a basketball coach covering up a murder by just trying to say he was a drug dealer, you know, I guess bad stuff happens in Waco.
Things are going well down here.
Yeah.
Nathan, should there be any penalties here?
He doesn't want to talk about it.
I don't know if there should be or not. This puts the NCAA in a situation. I feel.
God.
I guess I would. There probably should be some penalties, but they should be taken from within the university, and it should suspending the program in a couple of years, if not giving it the ultimate death penalty. But that's an extreme. I guess I look at it more because I don't really know what's going to happen. I don't know what they should do. The situation is so different than others that we've seen, because it spreads through the whole university in general. So I guess I'm looking at more what's the trickle-down effect going to be for the other sports, most notably men's and women's basketball. It can be a lot of ramifications of this, more just of how this impacts the university as a whole. Right now. So,
do better internet.
Yeah, the audio cut out a little bit.
Get better internet.
I can't help that. What? Okay, where did it go out?
It always was there. It just wasn't very clear.
All of it was good.
What we got? I mean,
your last 4 or 5 sentences, we'd get about every fourth word. And the other ones, it sounded like you were like gargling underwater.
I don't know.
Who left? Do you have a cat? Where's a cat? Is there a cat somewhere?
Put the cat outside.
There ain't no cat.
Good. Schottenkirk, who's to blame here?
Everybody, anybody, I mean, everybody associated with that athletic department deserves some blame. I mean, it's a categorical failure of a system that's supposed to prevent this kind of shit, or at least if something does come about, they should be able to right the situation as best as they can, but nothing was done. And I will be watching very closely, as I have been over the last several years. Because
you are our rape expert. When we go to rapes, him as Winston, we send you down there.
I don't think that was where he was going.
Yeah. That's not where I was going, but that's true. That's true. James Winston's still a rapist, and he's still a cocksucking son of a bitch. But whatever. If the NCAA doesn't do much, or they come down kind of halfway gently on Baylor, it's just another sign that if you can do anything you want, but as long as you appease them and you cooperate, they won't punish you. But if you do something halfway minded and then you try to fight them, they'll try to kill you. AKA Reggie Bush, AKA USC. If the penalties for this are I mean, the crime, you're paying somebody a couple $100,000, paying somebody's family to have a nice vehicle and some money or whatever, and then to have them crushed for 6 or 7 years, and then you have a goddamn football coach at a program that came out of nowhere, and knowing his goddamn players are raping people on campus and not doing anything. If they don't do anything, I'll burn down the NCAA office.
Not only will they not do anything, I guarantee you they won't do anything, because Penn State went to court about it, and they got everything overturned in the courts. So it's the bylaws that the schools have signed don't deal with breaking the law. So the NCAA doesn't have the legal. I mean, they could do stuff, but Baylor could challenge it, and I would assume that. I mean, Penn State did, and when Penn State did it, they found a weird way to try to turn themselves into martyrs. That was kind of gross.
How funny is that, then? How funny is that? USC didn't break any law, and they got to come down harder on the teams that actually broke fucking very important laws in this country. And that's just another sure sign the NCAA is fucked, like we all know.
Well, I mean, it kind of depends how you look at it. I mean, meaning, like, if you're doing stuff like this, should we really be worried about, like, Baylor football, or should we be worried about, like, the other stuff going on? And now, the NCAA could find other stuff. I mean, I don't think anyone would be surprised if Baylor was breaking all sorts of other rules that they could hammer them on. But, like, they could deal with stuff like with the federal government now that would be far worse. I mean, like, this would be like the nuclear option, and I would assume it doesn't happen. But Baylor is a private school, so they don't get, like, the state funding aid that other schools in Texas get. And if the government just says, you know what, we're not going to let kids get loans for Baylor anymore, then all of a sudden Baylor is just, like, completely screwed. Well, maybe I shouldn't say screwed. Maybe that's the wrong word, but it's completely up a creek without a paddle. And I mean,
they're in the woods.
They're stuck. They're deep in the woods.
Would the scope of their investigation have to be different than the one?
And the one where?
Do better.
Repeat that.
What the fuck did you buy the aquarium stacking?
Repeat that.
Okay. The scope of the NCAA's investigation need to be different than that the Philadelphia law firm did.
Yeah, it has to be different. You can't trust the school to do its own investigation and say, oh, yeah, that's good enough.
I'm saying that what the NCAA would do, because then they don't need to investigate any further, because everything's right there. That whatever law firm was used, they don't need to investigate anymore unless they're going to investigate a different scope of the athletic department and try and see if any other violations were made.
I don't know how you can trust Baylor. That's my point. Is that they're past the point of getting any sort of special treatment or
benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, you can't take their word for it, as far as I'm concerned. And just because an outside law firm can do the investigation doesn't tell me anything.
You know who they should have their lead investigator be?
Who's that?
Ken Starr.
No, a former Baylor athlete of recent lore.
Robert Griffin III?
Yeah, he ain't got anything else going on. He's sure shit not going to see the NFL field this year, so
the quarterback for my Browns? The quarterback for
your
my Browns.
Yeah.
You gotta be shitting me.
That'll make the NCAA happy. That'll pass all their tests if they got somebody come back and investigate.
I really enjoyed the big Subway sandwich pyramid they made of his face. So that was good.
I think that the asking for the death penalty or whatever for football or for any athletic departments is unrealistic because they're not going to do it. But I think that's what should happen. I mean, the fact that Baylor has done this twice now, where, like Charlie mentioned, you had a goddamn basketball coach cover up a murder between one player killing another player, and now you have systematic cover-ups of sexual assault and discouraging victims from coming forward. I don't know what else you need to do. I mean, and we can say, well, don't punish the other 17, 18 sports. Yeah, punish them, because I don't know what else. I don't know how else they're going to get the message across. And they should just let those kids go play somewhere else, because Baylor has big problems. Baylor shouldn't be having athletic teams until they can get their act together. And it honestly probably should be an SMU situation where they're spending the next 2 to 3 decades figuring out just how to be a decent school rather than trying to field a competitive football team to win championships. I think that's, they're not going to do it because they don't have the stones to do it, but that's, I think, appropriate given what has happened.
I see this.
And I said the NCAA wouldn't do anything. Like, there's still other places that could. Like, I mean, I don't know the bylaws, but in theory, like, the Big 12 could kick Baylor out of the conference, which, I mean, is not the exact same thing, but essentially you're taking away almost all of the money they're ever going to get after that because, nobody cares about Conference USA for the most part.
It feels like, though, that, I mean, just the idea of Baylor having a football team and them going 9-3 and people showing up to cheer them, I mean, it's just wrong, given what's happened and the fact that they have no self-control or any ability to do what's right.
We've seen this also at Tennessee a little bit with their football team.
Yep.
Mr. Koob, I would say it would be a better philosophy to come forward with this right away and severely punish the player and get him out of there rather than have this all build up and have a half dozen or whatever cases of this to where it comes now, you got to fire the president, you got to fire the AD and the football coach and everybody. I mean, why would they just not go ahead and say, okay, this player did that, get the hell out of here, you're gone, instead of having this build up and kept quiet? It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know, like, to me it doesn't either. Like, even if you're thinking of it from, like, I always go back to this is probably more of a money issue than anything, obviously, because if your football team's good, you're going to be raking in donations and donors and getting these big benefactors to help build new crap on your university. So, like, to me, it's like, do they risk the millions of dollars they're getting coming in by keeping this stuff quiet and trying to keep it under as long as possible? But it's like they have to know that at some point it's like to me, it just makes no sense at all, and that's why everybody has to get fired. Is because if it's that high up where they're like, nope, we're gonna keep this under wraps because it just totally blows my mind on why they would cover something like this up in the first place, but then continually do it, and then like it's been brought up before, it's the second time this has happened at the same university pretty much. So I agreed with Marcus's little rant there that they definitely deserve the death penalty. It's insane.
How the hell is Ken Starr the president? How does that happen?
You're
America,
a private
baby.
school. You can do what you want.
That's insane.
Yeah, and that's probably part of the reason, just of Baylor being this odd town private school in a much smaller location in Texas, that it went this long in the first place. Like, if you think of most other football schools that are really good, like, I'm not going to say that they are morally superior than Baylor, but it wouldn't have gone as far just because, like, reporters would have found out because, like, at fervent fan bases, like Alabama or USC or Notre Dame or places like that, like, you just couldn't sweep it under the rug because they've got, like, 6 times as many people covering it that they would just find out. And then with the addition to it being, a private school and that they normally were bad, and I guess they just got drunk off success.
Fair to say if this was one of those teams you mentioned, this would be a bigger deal, because I think this is a pretty big deal when you start to mentioning they should have the death penalty and all those things that we've said. It doesn't seem like it's gotten the coverage that it probably should if this was, a USC or a Alabama or whoever else, Ohio State.
Well, I mean, think about how much coverage Penn State got, and we're going to be nowhere near that.
And this is in the same category as that.
It is. You don't have nearly as legendary of a coach, but
it didn't happen for as long or to as many people.
Right.
And that Penn State thing was a big deal for many, many months. So
I would also say that, kind of like what Charlie said, there was a very clear, you can see it, there was a very clear trade-off of their success to what they were willing to hide. They had all these winning seasons. They got a brand new stadium. They had RG3 go to the NFL, win the Heisman. That is the trade-off. That's what they traded in for covering up these crimes. So to me, that's, I don't think we've ever had it as clear in any sort of college scandal where, what you traded in and all the success, it's right there for everybody to see.
Mr. Stackton.
Yeah.
Who's talking there?
I am.
Okay, you are. If Baylor wasn't any good, if they were winning 3 games a year like they used to, would they have come forward and said, this is going on, we're going to discipline kids, or because they were so good, they're like, we're just going to keep rolling this gravy train out?
Probably the latter would be a more appropriate answer to that. But it also, you look at other schools like Florida State and the whole Jameis Winston thing with them covering that up. And I know there's something going on in BYU with the whole with women reporting sexual assaults, but it goes against the honor code. I mean, there are a lot of universities here in the U.S. that are handling sexual assault and rape cases very, very poorly, and you would hope that this Baylor situation will open the door to other universities looking at their policies and hammering down those offenders, whether that be within the or outside.
I would like to open the door to the Stanley Cup Final, Stackin.
The Lord Stanley Cup is right outside the door, so open it on in.
Open it in? What do we have? we have the Penguins and the Sharks. I'm very much looking forward to this.
Sharks.
Didn't want to see Tampa Bay in there. Sure as hell didn't want to see St. Louis in there. Is Pittsburgh the favorite, Mr. Stackin?
I think you're looking at the Sharks more. A lot of people are taking them. Just West is so difficult. The Sharks they're playing really well on the road and at home right now. Brett Burns is probably the best defenseman, at least right now in the Stanley Cup Final. I'm leaning towards Pittsburgh in 7 just because they have the home ice, I do believe. So I will take them in 7, but I think it is equal footing 50-50 between these two, if not a little more in favor of the Sharks.
Any reason why they didn't start the series tonight instead of tomorrow? Because tomorrow there's a basketball game that a lot of people are going to watch, and tonight there's nothing. Why the hell did they do this?
Because it's Memorial Day weekend, and you're probably not going to get the coverage on a Sunday. Also, the Stanley Cup Final rotates Sunday, and the NBA Finals are Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday.
Also, because they knew that more people would watch Game of Thrones than the Stanley Cup Finals.
Also, they didn't want to get beat out in the ratings by the Coca-Cola 600 tonight either.
Oh, yeah, that's the big Coca-Cola.
Hold the door, Stacking.
For what it's worth, Pittsburgh a decent favorite in Game 1.
Okay. Marcus, what do you got here? I like Pittsburgh. They're my one team.
Yes.
If I had to pick
on that, or are you just setting me up?
No, I'm asking. I mean, that's if I had to pick my favorite hockey team, it would be Pittsburgh.
Gotcha.
And we got the teal, and we got some teal. That's always good.
I think there's a lot to like in this Stanley Cup final matchup. I like San Jose to win this series in about 5 or 6 games.
Really? How dare you?
Go to hell.
I do. I'm going to say 6 games. I think they have a lot of guys who have been here before, and much like Pittsburgh, I'd say these are 2 very experienced teams. But the Stanley Cup Final winner has come out of the West a buttload of times in recent history, and I'm not going to bet against that now. I think San Jose has put a lot of really good games together in these playoffs. They've beaten more difficult teams on the West to get to this point. So I will say San Jose will win this series. Also, their goaltending situation a lot more settled than Pittsburgh's is. So.
Chicago Blackhawks aren't walking through that door.
They are not. They are not.
Sharks sweep.
Jesus Christ! Look at you. Ooh. Sweep. You like the Sharks in 5 or 6. Stacking likes them in 7. Mr. Coob, your hockey pick.
Sharks in 5.
Who in 5?
Sharks in 5.
Sharks in 5. Schottenkirk. Tell them all to go to hell. Who do we got?
You can all go to hell. Penguins in 4. Let's go.
Oh, my.
We had 2 different sweep calls.
Well,
I should say that I'm a Sharks fan. In theory, I don't follow hockey at all, and when I really don't know, I just go with what mascot I think would win in a fight. So I'm picking the Sharks.
I'll pick Pittsburgh in 6. I find it interesting how they're going to do the TV coverage with this, because what it's like if it's 2-0, the games it's going to be different.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure game on NBCSN, aren't they?
Like if it's 2-0, it's going to be on like NBC Sports Network, but if it's like 1-1, it's going to be on NBC.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Good.
That's interesting. That's interesting. So.
Stack. We need predictions for ratings from both games tomorrow night.
I will go Stanley Cup Final. We'll get a 3.4.
3.4 rating or 3.4 million?
3.4 rating.
Gold.
How many people?
I don't know what that equates to, so I will say.
Is it on NBC?
Yeah. On NBC, I will say about 7.2 million will watch the hockey, and I'll say an 8.0 for Warriors Thunder, which would equate to some 18 million or something. Whatever.
Okay. I would go 13, 14 million for the basketball. Schottenkirk?
Yeah, 14, 15 for the basketball, and probably about 3.5 for the hockey.
Now,
Same with my pick last night, 15.5 for basketball.
For the hockey people, how will you watch the basketball, or how will you do that?
I'll flip back.
What was that?
I'm watching the basketball. There will be 6 more games, or maybe just 5 more games of.
Maybe 3.
Well, maybe just 3 more. No Penguins.
There will be more than 3. It will not be a sweep.
What kind of odds do I get on there?
And a lot of people think this is the finals anyway. There's lots more NBA after the hockey will be over. So, and they're on alternating nights. That's a good call. So, I will watch the basketball until it's a blowout or whatever.
And real quick, I want to congratulate the Oklahoma City Thunder for making it as far as they did, because who thought a month ago that they had to go through both the Spurs and the Warriors, that they'd be in Game 7. Channeling my inner Cook, it's the toughest schedule since Germany and World War II.
Looking at some baseball as Marcus Traxler goes to change his awful shirt. Mr. Coop, what do you think drove Twins pitching coach Neil Allen to drink himself to death?
Probably all the great hitting of the opposing teams. Yeah, I don't know. That's a bad situation. I guess I didn't know. I had no idea of his past problems with the booze. So that was interesting, kind of reading about that and just seeing his, or just reading the kind of history behind that struggle. And it's a serious problem, but it's almost a punchline to a really bad joke too at the same time, because the Twins are so terrible. But they're having a hell of a time in Seattle.
Here we are, boys.
Must be hitting up the dispensaries out there.
Great week for me to pick the goddamn Mariners in the pick'em, tell you what. Real great week. Real terrific week. You did not change your shirt, Marcus. What happened?
Same shirt.
What the hell?
Same shirt.
Different day.
New show.
Are you on the international date line?
I am. It's Monday where I'm at.
Who won the race?
It's not over.
Al Unser Jr.
God damn you. God damn you.
Mario Andretti came back from the dead.
Jesus. Really?
He's not actually dead yet.
I have a trivia question, if you'd like.
I've got a trivia question, too.
All right.
Good. I like trivia questions.
Final thoughts here on sports-related topics, since I'm sure this trivia will take us to the 60 minutes hour. Yeah, the spelling bee with the co-champions, that's a bunch of bullshit.
Can I make one rant about the spelling bee?
Go nuts.
So in the past, the kids, they ask for, language of origin, kind of like we talked about earlier. They ask for definition, use in a sentence. Well, now apparently you can just ask, can I have all the stuff that goes with the word?
Good.
I think that's bullshit. I think ask for it. If they're not, screw them. Don't give it to them.
It's like the intentional walk in baseball. You got to
get rid of it.
Pitches,
you gotta throw the pitches. You gotta throw them.
We're trying to speed these spelling bees up to take under 8 goddamn hours here. Okay? Nathan Stacken, are you on a different device here?
I am.
Much better, sir. Much better.
Think about this all the time.
It's still not installing. I mean, fuck you, Microsoft.
Fuck it, Stacken's doing it live.
You're looking live.
I want to get your thoughts on this Olympic thing before we get to the trivia. Are you serious?
God.
What's your plan here for the mosquitoes?
I have no plan. I am not a doctor. But I would say that they should, because this would just be a nice excuse, a nice reason to postpone the Olympics so Brazil can figure their political shit out, clean up their waters, everything like that, because the Olympics are going to be a fucking disaster this year if they proceed as is. I don't know. You can't move it. I just postpone it, kind of like what the World Cup is going to be like in Qatar in 2022, if that still exists.
That's not going to happen.
Okay, well, that's fine. What
Well,
do you
they changed it, so there's a precedent. They changed it. There you go.
I believe that they should postpone it. If you want to postpone it to, I don't know,
A month?
October, November.
Okay.
Yeah,
Summer Olympics and
Yeah, there's Summer Olympics in November with the NBA season start. That'll work real well.
Football.
Oh, yeah.
Who cares about the NBA in November?
Hey, as long as
The NBA does. The NBA has more pull in the Olympics as far as their players not playing than anybody.
Yep. Okay.
as long as Keith Benson's the starting center for Team USA, I don't give a shit when they.
Okay, then push it to October.
Mike Dom, Team USA.
I October. I did forget about that. So October would be the latest you can move it to.
No.
Well, like the.
They can't move it at all. There is a sub-zero chance of it happening.
Well, I know.
I know that too, but I would say this is they should do it.
Move it. They should not move it.
Why?
Because
Marcus likes to form babies.
they've had it for 3.5 years in line. This is 7 years if you go back to when it was bid out. It's very clear that you have all these contestants, people, however many, 500,000 people or whoever's going to go to the Olympics. I have no idea.
I'm going.
Kriens is going to be there. He's a big rowing fan. He's been waiting 4 years for Olympic rowing again. My whole thing is that every goddamn Olympics, and you can go back to the beginning of time, we have these stories ahead of time about how 2012 there's going to be bombings in London, and that didn't happen. 2002 bombings in Salt Lake City. 2004 they weren't going to have the venues ready in Athens. All these stories that you have before every Olympic Games. Same thing, security in Russia in 2014, and none of it happens. There's a lot of security.
Well,
you're going to have to take precautions if you're going to be competing in these games. That's been very clear. I'd say the bigger issue is still the fact that the water in Rio is as dirty as it's ever been. So that to me is as big of an issue, more so than the
Zika
virus. And you know what? You're going to have to swim through it. Just because I honestly think if you go back to 2 months before the Olympics in 2012, you're going to have a lot like what you saw this week. 25 security experts saying they shouldn't have the Olympics. They should postpone it. Well, these are doctors that are just trying to get some publicity. You see this literally every time there are the Olympics, and they should not postpone it because, God damn it, they've been planning it for way too long, and the Olympics must go on. For Christ's sakes, there was a hostage situation in 1972 in Munich, and they kept playing anyway. So it doesn't seem to matter that these sort of things go on. If the whole world's going to come together for 2 weeks, this has got to happen. Yeah, the game's carried on in Atlanta.
I
would say outside of World War I or World War II or a situation like that, I would agree. Go ahead and play.
I remember those Salt Lake City Olympics. The big story was the big threat of Michael Doliak showing up, and people didn't want it, so they said, "Go to hell." The Zika virus, is that the only symptom here with the deformed kids?
There is a partial temporary paralysis in adults.
So as long as you don't have kids or don't want to plan kids, like the paralysis thing, I mean, that's not good, obviously. But it sounds like it's more of a reproduction sort of situation. So
use rubbers.
But it could be
as long as they're not sending Travis Henry and Sean Kemp down there, we should be fine.
If they had a vaccine, then I would say there are no issues. But I do think it at least gives pause and opens up discussion more about it. I mean, but then it also opens the door more for the monumental problems that Brazil is having in getting ready to host these events.
Magic Johnson, light that torch. Or do we have trivia? Let's get to David Schottenkirk's trivia question. I hope it is
two versions.
Is it milk related?
Unfortunately, no. It is just a day or two in advance. Well, we might do it next week, but fuck it, we're doing it this week. 1969, the first MVP of the NBA Finals was given out. There's been 47 finals, 48 finals since that the award's been given out. Just name me one of the award winners, and I think there are roughly 23 or 24 guys on this list. And we're going my left to right, so we'll start with Charlie.
Starting with me, I will take the 1 foot layup and say Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan 6 times. Everyone knows it. Marcus.
I will go with Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant twice. 2009, 2010. Superstar. Can't wait for him to be on TNT. Nathan Stacken.
We'll go with LeBron James.
LeBron James twice. 2012, 2013. I'll go on a limb and say he wins it this year too. That's just me.
He's going to win for the losing team, is he? He's going to win for the losing team. Interesting.
They're not losing. They're not losing. People are sleeping, I'm telling you.
That'll be good. That'll be exciting.
We'll go Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson
Hey,
3 times. Magic A. Johnson, also known as Stacking last night with that god-awful tweet, but that's a different story.
Terrible.
Travis, you didn't see my reply?
No, it takes him 4 days to see his reply.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaquille O'Neal 3 times.
Jack.
2000, 2001, 2002. 3 in a row. Kobe probably should have got it in 2002, but that's a different story.
Quit raping women.
Charlie.
I am going to assume that at least one time Lou Alcindor / Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was the NBA Finals MVP.
You would be correct. Twice, once with Milwaukee, 71, once with the Lakers in 85.
I always forget he played for Milwaukee, too.
Milwaukee.
Marcus.
Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan, 3 times. 99, 2003, and 2005. Stacking.
Say Andre Iguodala.
Andre Iguodala last year, and he was very important playing defense on KD in the 4th last night. Cool.
I'll say Larry Bird.
Larry Bird, twice, 84 and 86.
Hakeem Olajuwon.
Hakeem the Dream, twice, 94, 95.
The only Nigerian on the list.
True.
Where's my boy Biombo?
Not going to make it this year.
Charlie.
All right, we're already in possible Hildebrand goes out early mode. I made the mistake of going, okay, I'll guess these 3 guys, and those were guys like Larry Bird or Kobe Bryant.
There should be like the severe weather alerts. There should be like a Hildebrand trivia alert.
Like, I can think of guys that were good and won NBA Finals. I just don't know if they were the MVP. I'm going to guess that Jerry West won it at least once.
Jerry West, the original Finals MVP in 1969, you bet. Marcus.
Tony Parker.
Tony Parker. Yes. 2007. Stacking.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm guessing someone already said Bill Russell.
If Bill Russell has not been said, and he is... Uh-oh.
We had this question before. I guessed Bill Russell, and it was after he retired.
No.
I love that we're doing the same question over again, but no, he's not on the list. I'll give you one freebie, though.
No.
Yeah, everyone gets a freebie, for fuck's sake.
God.
What is this? Did Bernie Sanders win the election? What is this?
I'm celebrating right now, baby.
I will just bow out.
God damn it.
Wow. Too
Name
polite.
to tell. Guess. Bobby O'Neill. Anybody.
Guess somebody's stacking, for fuck's
Okay.
sake.
All right, we will go with Larry Bird.
God damn it.
Jesus Christ. All right, forget it. You're out. He was already said.
Oh, there we go.
I'm gonna go Dirk.
Dirk, yes. 2011.
Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade, yes. 2006.
The only MVP with a misspelled first name.
Charlie.
I think the year the Pistons won, it was Chauncey Billups.
Chauncey!
Chauncey, 2004, yes.
What if Drew spelled his name like Lou Alcindor? D-R, what is it? D-R-E? How many different ways can you spell Drew?
A lot.
D-R-U, D-R-E-W.
I mean, I suppose you could spell it D-R-O-O if you wanted to.
That's what we're calling them now.
They're not booing.
They're drewing.
Marcus.
I'll go with Moses Malone.
Moses Malone. Yes, 1983. Cool.
About six. Man.
There's one left. Oh, two left in the 2000s. The rest of them were before the year 2000.
Mm-hmm. Probably overthinking it. Drawing a blank. Oscar Robinson.
Good guess. Not on the list.
Yeah.
Rivalry renewed.
God damn it.
Kawhi Leonard.
We're going to give Kuba a second chance since I gave the second one or not?
Sure.
Okay.
I can't think of any right now.
All right. Travis.
Kawhi Leonard.
If you can't think of any, just guess Larry Bird.
Kawhi Leonard, yes, 2014. Charlie.
I don't think he was said. I'm going to go with Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas is on the list, and no, he had not been said, so yes.
Good job.
1990. Detroit basketball.
Oh, God damn it.
Marcus.
Joe Dumars.
Joe Dumars. Detroit basketball. 1989.
James Worthy.
James Worthy. 1988. Holy shit, here we go.
Holy shit.
Charlie.
How many do we have left?
There's one still in the 2000s. The 90s are done. One left in the 80s. And about 5 in the 70s.
I think I might know what team it was from in the 2000s, but I don't have a clue which guy won it. So instead, I'm going to go off board here and guess that the one time the Trailblazers won it, that Bill Walton was the MVP.
Wow. Boom. Look at this guy go. 1977.
You stole one here from me.
Boom, boom, boom.
The biggest deadhead on the list.
Marcus.
I will go for the last one in the 2000s, and I will say Paul Pierce.
Yes, 2008, Paul Pierce.
I figured it was from the Celtics. I didn't know which one it was, though.
Dave Cowens.
Great guess, not on the list.
Boom.
Charlie.
I can think of a guy, and I can, like, picture his face. I'm trying to remember what his name is. I'm going to guess Willis Reed.
There you go.
Yes, Willis Reed twice, 70 and 73.
We're getting down there.
I did not go out early. I've gone way further than I thought I was going to.
I'm going to go with the other Golden State Warrior on this list, Rick Barry.
Yes. 76, I think? No, 75, my bad.
We got 5 left?
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 left.
I don't think... Go ahead.
There's one guy that hasn't been, at least I don't think it's been said, that I'll shoot somebody if it doesn't get said.
Well, this is probably what I'm going to do now, because I know he won at least one NBA title. I'm going to guess Wilt Stilt Chamberlain.
There we go. Thank you. Yes, Wilt Chamberlain. 1972 for the Los Angeles Lakers. Marcus. 5 left.
He famously stole the ball. I will say John Havlicek.
Yes, 74. Havlicek, you bet.
I think we're going to have a tie.
Yeah, probably.
Well, I've basically been going on guesses for like the last 2 or 3. I'm going to assume that one time Kevin McHale won one.
Good guess, but no, he did not.
Nah.
Marcus.
I have.
Show me something. Show me something, Marcus.
I have what I would call a bullet in my chamber. He did it for the Bullets.
Oh.
Did you say it?
Wes Unseld.
Wes Unseld. Boom. Yes. 1978.
Wes bullet I did not possess.
The other 3 that weren't said, 1976, JoJo White for the Celtics. I would have been surprised if anyone would have got that one. 1979, the one, the only, Dennis Johnson for the Seattle Supersonics.
Yep.
And then 1981 for the Boston Celtics, the one, the only, Cedric Maxwell.
Yep, I wouldn't have got any of those. I guess I maximized my potential on that one.
You got the most. You're coach of the year then. You got the most out of your team.
Just don't cover up rapes.
That's right. The Art Briles School of Coaching. Marcus.
Real quick, my favorite thing that I think might be true, but it might not be. I heard on the radio again on Friday for like the 5th time in the last couple of weeks. Sam Mitchell has the same amount of Coach of the Year awards as Phil Jackson does.
He's coaching what?
Coach of the Year awards. Sam Mitchell has the same amount
God.
as Phil Jackson. Yeah. That's my favorite Coach of the Year stat ever.
Smitch.
It's not very often they give the Coach of the Year to the guy that wins it all. It's the guy who turns the crappy team into above average.
Right.
Marcus, you had one?
I do. I believe we were talking about no-hitters every month. And,
We got to make our picks with that, too. Yep. I thought yours was going to be name every Indy 500 winner.
I wanted to do that. I mean,
all your questions have a minimum of 75 answers.
I mean, we could do every Indy 500 winner. I would imagine it wouldn't take that long.
maybe we'll do that when this is over. But on the theme of no-hitters, I'm sure we've done a variation of this particular question before. But there has been 295 no-hitters.
Oh God.
And, let's see, 295 minus.
Is there a limit here? Is there like a year limit?
Yeah, there is. 295 no-hitters, and 45 of them have happened in this millennium.
Oh my God.
Any of those 45 no-hitters, or any of the pitchers, there's been a few combined, if you could name the pitchers since 2001, because there was no no-hitters in 2000. So
can we, if there was a reliever that pitched a third of an inning in a no-hitter, does he count?
Count it.
Oh my goodness.
Count it. So
if I run out, I can just guess guys in the bullpen.
Guess them. So we'll start with Travis, then David, Coog, Stacken, and Charlie.
Jake Arrieta had one.
Jake Arrieta, yes. Earlier this year, he also had one. Last year, he's had 2 of the last 3 no-hitters have been his.
He's had 4 of the last 5 too.
No, not really.
No.
19 of the last 26.
David.
I'm glad I watched MLB Network this morning because I saw highlights 6 years ago today. Roy Halladay had a perfect game, which constitutes a no-hitter.
Count it. Roy Halladay.
Since 2002, right?
2001. We're counting the year 2001, but there were no no-hitters in 2000, so yes.
Okay. That's 2001. Okay.
Does Scherzer have one?
Sure.
Next. Sure. He had the no-hitter between the last 2 Arrieta ones. He also had one earlier in 2015, so he had 2 in the same season.
We're happy for him.
You're happy for him. Stack. Attack.
The D train.
Yes.
Oh my God.
That's a great answer.
Who is that?
Dontrell Willis.
Dontrell Willis. He had, let's see here.
Do you know who his stepfather is?
Oh God.
Willis
Talk
Reed.
about Willis.
Bobby Bonilla.
Jesus Christ.
Dontrell Willis did not have a no-hitter.
Larry Bird.
He didn't have a no-hitter, huh?
I'm not seeing it.
I thought he did.
Wow.
So that was a
Jesus.
Am
My turn.
I supposed to give him a redo or
No, fuck them.
Oh, okay.
No.
Charlie?
We're up against
Redo.
heartbreak.
Yes, Larry Bird.
Heartbreak.
Here you go, Charlie.
I will go with my guy, Mark Burley.
Mark Burley, yes, he's on the list. He's had
Felix Hernandez, I believe, had a perfect game.
Felix Hernandez had a no-hitter in 2012. I don't think he's had a perfect game.
Should have been.
Should have been. Maybe he got robbed.
My favorite no-hitter from last season is it's my turn, right?
It is your turn.
Chris Heston from the Giants.
Chris Heston, he had the first no-hitter of last year, and that was on June 9th, so maybe we're coming up on another one here.
I will try Randy Johnson.
Randy Johnson, he did it, yes. Randy Johnson, he had one in 2004 against the Braves. I believe that was a perfect game as well.
I wanted to keep a bullet in my chamber for a while, but I don't remember any guys that I know for sure had one, except this one. So I'm going to use my obscure one for Anibal Sanchez.
Anibal Sanchez.
In like 2006, 7, I think.
Yes, 2006. He had a no-hitter against the Diamondbacks. He was with the Marlins at the time.
F. Liriano.
F. Liriano, 2011, the only Twins no-hitter in this period of time, 2011.
We had 18 walks in that game.
47 walks, yes.
Wow.
Really scattered those walks, though.
You did.
Coop. Oh, Shoddy.
Carlos Zambrano.
Carlos Zambrano. Yes. That was in 2008. That also a perfect game.
Really?
I'll try
Yes.
Pedro Martinez.
Let me see here. Actually, not a perfect game. I'm reading this chart wrong. I'm sorry.
Reading it left to right, right to left?
I'm reading it slightly wrong. What was your guess? I'm sorry. I already forgot it.
Pedro Martinez.
Pedro Martinez, no hitter since 2001. Stacking.
I'm out.
Stacking's out.
He says Larry Bird.
He's going to the next person.
I was going to say Pedro Martinez. So,
I saved you.
I guess I'm going to go
This is setting up between an epic duel between me and Kriens. No offense, Charlie.
me and yeah. I think you're probably right. Like I'm just going to name pitchers that are really good, and Hope had one. I'm going to guess Cliff Lee.
Cliff Lee. Let's take a look here. He's not on the list.
Not on the list. Yep, Kriens and Schottenkirk.
All right, here we go.
Verlander?
Verlander, yes.
John Lester.
John Lester.
The child molester. Good.
John Lester, 2008, yes. Verlander, 2007. And then
Edwin Jackson.
Edwin Jackson. He had a no-hitter in 2010.
Now, he had a lot of walks. He had like 8.
He had a lot of walks. He had like 7 walks.
So,
How about my guy Jared Weaver?
Jared Greenweaver, 2012, against our favorite 9, the Minnesota Twins.
Matt Cain?
Matt Cain, 2012.
Tim Lincecum?
Tim Lincecum, 2013.
Oh, it's in the dirt. Go, go, go! Wow, O'Malley. They got O'Malley. He's out.
What a tremendous play.
Why didn't O'Malley hustle? If he would have wanted it more, he wouldn't have been out at third.
Martin O'Malley should have played better. I mean, I guess now after his failed presidential bid.
All right.
He can go back to being the mayor in The Wire now.
All right, Dennis Miller.
I don't know, Brandon Webb.
Brandon Webb. Brandon Webb. He's not on here, God damn it.
All right, I've got like 10 more, so I'll just give you one for the win. Jordan Zimmerman.
2014, yes.
Can I try to name a few more, please?
Can you name the person who had back-to-back no-hitters, although in different seasons?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Homer Bailey.
Homer Bailey, God damn it. Cincinnati Reds.
Did anybody say Kershaw?
Nobody said him.
Okay, Kershaw. How about Johan?
Johan, nobody said him.
Irvin Santana.
Irvin, he's on here.
Dallas Braden.
Dallas Braden.
Clay Buchholz.
Clay Buchholz.
And the other one, two more actually. Kevin Millwood.
Kevin Millwood was part of a
Oh, yes, I forgot the fucking relievers.
6-person no-hitter.
So we got Brad Lidge. How about Brad Lidge?
He's in there. You bet.
Eric Gagne.
Yes. He was part of one in 2003 with Octavio Dotel and Billy Wagner.
Dotel, man.
Really good 2000s relievers in there.
Bobby Jenks.
Can I get bonus points for naming the one prior to 2001 or not?
The one directly prior, yes.
That would be Eric Milton, wouldn't it?
Eric Milton, yes. Bonus points if you can tell me who caught for Eric Milton in that game.
Terry Steinbach, I think.
Terry Steinbach, yes.
2000 or 99.
99. September 11th, 99.
9/11.
Roy Oswalt, or you mentioned Roy Oswalt?
So we got to celebrate the anniversary of his no-hitter one time, and then after that it was like, well, I don't think I can do this anymore.
We're not talking about that anymore on 9/11. All right, Indy 500 winners. Here we go.
Jesus Christ.
Folks, this is for the whole shooting match.
I'll make my second shot, and I'm definitely not fucking losing this one.
All right, here we go. Start with Kriens.
Al Unser Jr.
Al Unser Jr. He's on the list.
Who's up?
David?
Helio Castroneves.
Helio Castroneves. He's on here, yep. Coob. Race fan.
Truex? Have I heard that name before?
You have heard his name before. He's not a former Indy 500 winner.
Shucks.
Stack and left. He didn't want to be part of this shit.
Charlie?
He left. Did he leave?
Big weenie.
It's my turn.
Yeah, it's your turn.
I don't know for sure anyone who even is an IndyCar racer. I would get them mixed up with NASCAR ones. I could guess some ones, but I feel obligated since I actually do have it on that channel right now. And I saw there was a guy with the last name Hildebrand that I'm guessing.
There's been no Hildebrand.
Was he the guy last year?
Well, son of a bitch, we gotta get that fixed.
Maybe today. Maybe today's his day.
Today.
How many laps are left?
There's about
like 30.
35
left.
30.
30. Am I up again?
You're up.
AJ Foyt, man. Let's get hard about Foyt.
Foyt, come on, folks. All right.
Rest in peace, Dan Wilton.
Dan Wilton, he did it in 2011.
And then he died tragically at Las Vegas in, I think, 2014.
He sure did. Kriens.
Mario Andretti.
Mario Andretti.
We?
I was pretending I was going around the track.
I just figured you were busting out your Nintendo Wii and playing Wii Sports.
Fucking we.
Ashley Judd's former husband, Dario Franchitti.
Dario Franchitti, yes.
Juan Pablo Montoya.
Yes. They did it 15 years
Last
ago.
year.
The defending winner.
Scott Dixon when I was there in 2008.
He did it, Scott Dixon.
That was a horrific race to watch, by the way.
Al Unser.
Al Unser, yes.
Eddie Cheever.
Eddie Cheever, yes.
Rick Mears.
Rick Mears, yes.
He's making me earn my money today. Holy shit.
They just showed. I don't know if you were watching, but they showed him earlier.
Johnny Rutherford.
Johnny Rutherford, yes.
Bjorn Borg for the win.
Bjorn Borg. Good.
He really invested that tennis money wisely.
Holy shit. I got one for the win?
For the win.
For the win!
For the win, Sam Hornish Jr., 2006, when I was there too.
Sam Hornish Jr., yes.
Hey, we can continue this. We could do French Open winners.
Ricky Bobby?
French Open winners, let's go.
Bjorn Borg.
Can you name the only person to ever not have milk in the winner's circle?
Whoever won in World War II, because they needed it for the soldiers.
If I will say, if you're a reader of the Daily Republic, it was in this weekend's paper.
Jesus Christ.
My guess is that you're not right, Coob. I like your thinking on that.
That's usually what it is.
My guess is it's someone that's lactose intolerant. So who's the biggest nerd that races?
Did it happen semi-recently, Marcus, or not?
1993 was the year.
Is it Jim Neighbors?
93? Oh. Okay. Then yeah. Because Unser Jr. won in 92 and 94, but I don't know who won in 93.
Who did he bookend?
I have no idea.
Brazilian driver Emerson Fittipaldi. Now, what did he drink instead of milk?
The bad water.
Tequila.
No.
Damn.
Okay.
You can find it in your grocer's dairy section.
Half and half.
Not dairy.
What do you have?
Orange juice.
Orange. Oh my God! Why did I know that? What the hell? You know
Who was
my
it?
affinity for orange juice. Son of a bitch.
There you
Who
go.
was it?
Emerson Fittipaldi. Just said it.
Fittipaldi.
All right, French Open winners. Let's go. We're doing it. Come on.
Well, son of a bee
Come
stick,
on.
the guy who I might distantly be related to just got passed and isn't in first anymore.
Who
He even
goes?
spells my last name the same way.
Well, God damn it.
Who goes?
Marcus, because he doesn't want to do it.
Rafael Nadal.
Yes. Charlie.
What are we doing?
French Open winners. Any French Open winner in history.
Pete Sampras.
Pete Sampras. Oh God, here we go. Charlie goes out early again.
What?
Pete never won one?
I'm pretty sure that's the only major he didn't win. He's not on the list here.
It was obviously bad.
You know what? Sometimes I'm really disappointed when I go out early. I'm okay with going out on
What a surprise.
than that.
Pete's, that's all time there. That's good. That's good. Cool.
Johnny McEnroe.
Johnny McEnroe, somewhere. I'll find the year eventually, but I know he's on here. He's got
So if I name somebody that's won a French Open title, that's right?
Yep.
John McEnroe. I'm not finding him on the list. What the hell?
I don't know. He might not even want it.
Not
It's
on
like
the
I don't know
list.
anything about tennis except
Holy crap. All right, so 2 down after 3 guesses. Travis, what do you got?
What about Roger Federer?
Roger Federer, yes. Marcus is going to win, even though he's staunchly opposed doing this.
I will take the one that was just said, Bjorn Borg.
Yes. 78, 79, 80, 81. Beyond board, yes. Travis.
Serena Williams. We didn't specify men or women. Look at that.
That was the next question. I'm just kidding.
If you want a guy,
Well, she kind of.
I got a guy.
I got a guy.
I got a guy.
Leighton Hewitt.
Leighton Hewitt. Great guess. One of my favorites for some unknown reason. But no, he never won the French.
Defending champion Stan Wawrinka.
All right. That ends the worst trivia question in the history of mankind.
You missed the TV days when Stacken would give us NHL questions that only Traxler would know the answer to.
Stanley Cup MVP award winners. Let's go.
What did we think about?
We lost him. He's a goner.
He's frozen. He's frozen.
What did we think about what?
He's back. He's back. He's back. See his mouth moving.
Frozen like Ted Williams.
Oh, he's here.
Noah Syndergaard.
He's a goner.
Who's a
It was
goner?
a good run, Kriens. Yet.
I'm assuming you're asking about the guy that threw behind the guy and got kicked out of the game and what we think about that.
Yes, I can hear everybody fine.
We can't hear your useless stuff.
What did I do?
You didn't come through the machine.
Am I good now?
No.
Yes. Yes.
Noah Syndergaard, talk about it.
Say some stuff. Fill the air.
Baseball's
He got
so
kicked
weird.
out.
Okay.
Shouldn't have been.
Well, see what Schottenkirk or see what Stacken tweeted back to Schottenkirk here. Breaking news.
Oh
Oh
god.
God.
Check your Twitter here.
I didn't even see
Wait,
this
hold
shit.
on. What did Stacken tweet that started the way to go Magic Johnson or whatever it was that Schottenkirk did?
Something like Oklahoma City choked. Wow, the
Just
Warriors
something-
imploded in the fourth quarter tonight.
Something really stupid and generic. I'm pulling up. What do you reply with?
Here it is. He said, "Wow, the Thunder imploded in the fourth quarter tonight. Hashtag GS versus OKC." And Stacken responded, "Thank you, Magic Johnson." And then he responded to that 5 minutes after he sent it. And then 29 minutes ago, Stacken responds, "Ouch, Captain Obvious here. I was unable to watch the game, was just following online, but I'm guessing that won't work for you."
That's why he left, because he was afraid I was going to see that and rip him a new asshole. That's why he ran away with his tail between his legs. Wow, that's some sour grapes there.
Take me
God, I
back.
hate that kid.
I'd like to do an oral history on the Stacken Schottenkirk feud.
I don't know how I got. I think I got it off on the wrong foot. I'm pretty sure I got it off on the wrong foot the first time that we had an interaction where we could see each other when we're talking. I don't think we've never met in person yet. I don't think.
You told him
ESPN 30 for 30. What happens when the unstoppable force meets the immovable object?
Shots fired.
Stacken v. Schottenkirk.
what was the thing that they went around and around and about? Well, was it fantasy football or something? I don't. But they did it on this show. There was like it was just a bitch fight from the get-go.
Yeah, that was probably part of it. And then there's been a bitch fight for like the last 5 years about golf not having any stars.
That's right. That's one of the famous ones. Yeah.
Because he's still convinced that just because the ratings are shit that golf doesn't have any stars, even though the game 1 through 50 right now is probably as deep as it's ever been.
I don't know if this was before or after the golf thing. It wouldn't surprise me if at some point it was Stacken early on whenever he would discuss ratings. He would overinflate and overestimate NHL ratings. And some of us would just be like, yeah, I don't know about that. And Schottenkirk would just like laugh and be like, you're an idiot. And so like that.
What I'm stunned about.
Some of his best moments were that Orlando Magic all-time leading scorer trivia question answer that I just about shit my pants on. The beating on the table.
Wait, what was that? I don't remember that.
Bobby Bonilla.
No.
I think that was like within the same couple of weeks. But that was the time that Travis came up with the trivia question for every professional franchise, and we went around the horn and picked different teams and had to answer the question. And he picked the Magic, and the question was, who's the all-time leading scorer in franchise history? And he said Rashard Lewis, and I shit my pants live on the show.
I do remember that.
He thought the question was who scored the most points in a single game somehow.
Right. Yeah.
Where was
That came about
points.
after 3 minutes of me hyperventilating. That's what he figured out. That's what he said.
I think it was-
I felt kind of bad. But.
I think it was Dwight Howard, I think. Is what it was.
And Bobby Bonilla just sent it over the top.
Now I don't. What was the Bobby Bonilla thing? Like, I know we talk about it. I don't remember what started it anymore.
The only player in Marlins history to have his number retired, right?
Jackie Robinson.
And he said Bobby Bonilla.
Yeah.
Like, we've had so many long-running jokes now that a lot of them, like, I don't even remember where the barbecue sauce thing started.
I don't either.
Like, somehow we came up with, like, I was in possession of all this money for barbecue sauce endorsements. I don't even remember how we got to that point, but it started even before then. It was something that
Something with
Wyatt said once.
Yeah,
or
something with Wyatt. Something about like Mesquite, South Dakota, or something like that.
Millette, and they had some place you went to eat there, and the barbecue sauce was so great. And yeah, I think that was it.
I've got a request to make before I run here. It's Sunday show, Memorial Day is tomorrow, obviously. About 5 weeks from now, I think if I'm doing the math right, the Sunday before the 4th of July, if we do a show, we got to get Wyatt on so we can talk great things about America.
How would you be arranged? Will you have time to join us from Pancake, Texas?
Well, he's in Arizona for the weekend here. He's
good to know he's going somewhere cool.
Celebrating all those dead veterans by partying. So.
If that doesn't happen, I request that we all wear flags on some sort of our attire that day.
Does it have to be a U.S. flag, or can it be another country?
No, it can be any flag, whatever country you want to support.
Could it maybe be a hat from Mexico? Baseball?
Sure.
Oh, look at this. We'll wrap the show up here. Final. David Schottenkirk, we got some professional wrestling news to discuss.
We sure do. Hopefully there'll be a blog post this week sometime.
There's going to be a draft. They're having a draft, folks. We're going to do a mock draft. It's coming up in the middle of July.
July 9th is the first, so it'll be beginning of July. Yeah.
So they'll have the draft the day before, whenever the hell they'll do it.
So are they doing like a SmackDown Raw draft again, basically?
Yes,
doing
sir.
that again. 2002 was very exciting. It kind of fell to shit after about a year or two. In the last however many years, 4 or 5 years went on, it was pretty awful. Why should I expect anything different?
Because I think the roster pool right now is set up better to have one and have it work, and the fans have been clamoring for some sort of change, and it's going to help a lot doing this, that SmackDown's going to be live, finally live on Tuesday nights. That should add some more intrigue to people that don't watch all the time, but you're occasional viewer. That should add a little bit of intrigue, and with the way the roster is and getting guys healthy, it's a perfect time to do it.
Should be very interesting. Looks like they're going to bring back another world title. What would you like to see? Do you want to see 2 world titles? I would prefer probably just one, since the second one always gets watered down. What would you like to? It sounds like Roman Reigns will be on Raw, John Cena will be on SmackDown. Those will be your top 2 guys. What do you want to see from this?
Yeah, I would prefer if they could stick with one title, but with 2 live programs on 2 nights a week, 2 is basically necessary. And I just want to see. I mean, if Cena's on SmackDown and Cena's going to become the czar of SmackDown, for lack of a better term, that's fine by me. But Raw should still be the stalwart, still be the big show of the week, and have your younger guys, or the guys that haven't been around for 15 years, be the title holder there, if that's Reigns or Rollins or whoever else they decide the next near future. But with 2 programs, you can have Cena and Orton, and those guys with the established, I don't know if you would classify Orton as a legend, but you can classify a couple guys as a legend, have them over there, and have Raw be your vehicle for younger viewers. But we'll see. It's definitely intriguing.
What are we going to do for a blog?
Do you want to do a mock draft and just go back and forth who we think's going to end up on each show? And then we also have that WrestleMania piece coming that I've been meaning to send you for about 6 weeks.
Since we kind of know the top 2, should we just go from there and then, like, which one do you want?
I think you should do rock, paper, scissors for who gets SmackDown and who gets Raw right now.
Right now.
Live, rock, paper, scissors.
Maybe we'd have to do a number choice since he is a
rock, paper,
blue-headed guy right now.
It depends.
All
on
right, I've got a number. I've got a number right now. I've got a number right now between 1 and 100.
Well, hang on a second. Hang on. Let me ask Travis a question. Who do you think the top two are?
Reigns will be on one show and Cena's on SmackDown.
Okay, all right. I was just making sure on the same page.
Go from there.
All right. Who's guessing first, me or Travis?
I know what.
Rock, paper, scissors for who guesses first.
Let's do a trivia question. Who guesses first? I know my number. I know what number I'm going to guess.
Oh, that's right. Now I feel like an idiot. That's true. We can't see what Sean Kirk's doing.
I know what number.
Paper. Oh, I want scissors.
All right, David, you got to guess first.
I'll guess my favorite number, 17.
Okay.
I was going to guess 69 for funnies.
Yeah.
But since he guessed 17,
you gotta close me out. You gotta say 18.
The odds would be 18, so I'll say that.
Yeah. The number was 63.
I should have said 69.
You should have said 69.
Are we going for accuracy, or are we doing just our own thing?
Accuracy. Go for accuracy. That's what we're about.
You motherfucker. Is that what we want to do?
That's fine by me.
If you're going for accuracy, don't read my waiting in the bank on the Sports Lounge blog site waiting to be posted thing.
What do you got?
Oh, it was with all the conference expansion talk. It was like the super condensed version of it is like, what if the Big Ten added 10 teams and became a 2-tiered conference? So you had promotion and relegation in the Big Ten. And there's a long, like it's probably like it's not as long as that wrestling thing I wrote, but that was like formatted in a certain way. But there weren't as many words. There's probably more words for this.
So that's in there, ready to go.
At some point.
What if you had promotion and relegation, and then you had like a Money in the Bank situation where you could cash in against a certain team? And
Here comes Indiana cashing in on Ohio State.
And if you beat them. Because obviously, if you surprised them and you beat them, then you get the conference or whatever.
Ohio State beats Michigan in 5 overtimes, and what's that? That's Indiana's music. That we Here come the Hoosiers.
You start the year with the championship belt. Iowa's the champ.
Yeah.
So Iowa starts the year with the champ. Conference games only, and if happen to say the Gophers beat Iowa, Minnesota's your champ. And whoever is the champ at the end of the year, last game, you do something with them.
Yeah.
That's not what I wrote, but that would be fun also, and I would be okay with that.
I just like the idea of run-ins and people cashing in there and just spur of the moment games.
Of just completely refs scripted, like we're gonna let this slide and pretend it didn't happen.
Yes.
The ref gets
like,
the
oh my
back.
God, Indy, Northwestern's quarterback's hurt. What's that? JT Barrett's putting on his jersey. The ref didn't. He had his back turned. He didn't know that an Ohio State guy was subbed in.
I'll take when I go first, so I'll take Raw, and we'll go from there. And we're going for accuracy. We're going what. And I don't know how they're going to do the draft. I assume it's the same as last time. We'll have probably Stephanie do Raw and Shane do SmackDown, and they go back and forth.
Yeah, I would assume that's probably going to be the format. If you want Raw, that's fine. I was going to say that I preferred SmackDown anyway, so that works out.
Like Brock Lesnar, is he in this? Do we leave him
everybody on the active roster is available. Yes, everyone's going to be available.
Undertaker? Will he ever wrestle again? Is he going to be drafted?
I doubt Taker will be drafted. I do. He'll probably be involved, but I don't think he's going to be drafted.
So you think
Lesnar?
You think Lesnar will be?
I think Lesnar will be. Yes.
Any NXT guys? Are they eligible?
Good question. I think we're going to find out more in the next few weeks. At this point, I think a couple of the top guys are probably eligible to be drafted, but.
So there we go. Got that coming down the pike here. Sportslounge.blogspot.tumblr.
That's not the site at all.
That's Stack Attack.
Sportsblog.com.
Yeah, we're on the Tumblr site, so there you go.
When they do the drafts for SmackDown and Raw, like I'm certain. I think it's safe to say that there's like one or two guys that they're like, no, this guy's going to be on this one. Do you think every single pick is scripted, or there are a few where they're like, you know what, just pick whoever you want?
Yeah,
To me, it would be fun if there were a few where it was just like, you know what, you need these 4 guys. After that, go crazy, do whatever you want with it.
Well, in 2002, wasn't Taker the first pick?
Oh, we could, we'll go back. Maybe we'll do that off air. We'll go back and look at the draft.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Break it all down. Is 14 years long enough to evaluate a draft?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think so. You don't want to be a prisoner of the moment. And
Mark Henry still got a chance to hit his prime. He could really be the 3-1 guy.
So the big draft coming up. That'll be a lot of fun.
do a 3-hour live show for that.
Good.
Stacken
was here.
Show drafting.
Charlie was here. Shane Coop, very good. David Schottenkirk.
Nathan Stacking, not that great.
Nathan
Get your
Stacking.
TV.
Nathan Stacken, he was here, but we could.
Okay, Jesus Christ. And we appreciate
Four laps left in the Indy 500. Get your TVs, channel 5, quick. 3 laps left.
If you live in the South Dakota area.
Appreciate
ABC, whatever channel ABC is. Get to it. 3 laps left. Close finish coming.
Appreciate Stacken's cat. And
3 laps left. How far am I behind?
Oh, no.
That says 6 laps
Well, I
left.
got 6 to go.
They're still showing the 1996 race.
Oh, my God.
It's blacked
Shut up
out.
because I'll ruin the end for
They're
it.
showing it tonight.
Next week, 172. We'll see you later. Go Browns.